Welcome to today's video, where we will uncover the 7 powerful rules to emotionally detach from anyone through the wisdom of Carl Jung, an insight that will change the way you approach relationships and emotional challenges. If you're tired of being overwhelmed by your emotions or struggling with attachments, this video is for you. Stick with us till the end, as I'll share powerful strategies you can implement immediately to bring peace and clarity into your life. But before we dive in, make sure to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on life-changing insights like this one. By subscribing, you'll unlock a treasure trove of content designed to help you achieve emotional freedom, mental clarity, and personal growth. In this video, you'll learn 7 key strategies that will revolutionize your emotional well-being. 1. Understand the shadow within. Recognize and integrate your own hidden emotional triggers. Often, the pain of attachment reflects your inner unresolved issues. Understanding the shadow within is a foundational concept in Carl Jung's psychology. The shadow represents the unconscious parts of ourselves, those hidden fears, insecurities, and emotional wounds we often deny or repress. When we become emotionally attached to someone, it's not always because of love or connection, but sometimes because they mirror a part of our shadow. This attachment can feel intense because it resonates with unhealed aspects of ourselves. For example, someone who fears abandonment might cling to relationships that reflect that very fear, becoming overly dependent or emotionally reactive. Emotional detachment begins by recognizing this pattern. Rather than blaming others for the emotional turmoil, one must turn inward and ask, what is this person reflecting in me? Why does this attachment feel so powerful? Emotional pain, in many cases, is the shadow trying to get our attention. Jung believed that true healing comes from integrating the shadow, bringing awareness to our hidden emotions and accepting them as part of who we are. When we acknowledge our inner wounds, we no longer need others to fill those emotional voids. Detachment becomes natural, not forced. We stop seeking external validation and begin the journey of self-understanding, which is the real key to emotional freedom. 2. Separate ego from emotion. Emotional attachment is often fueled by ego-based desires. Detaching requires shifting from "I need them" to "I understand myself." Separating ego from emotion is essential for emotional detachment. The ego often disguises itself as genuine feeling, when in reality, it is driven by fear, pride, and insecurity. When someone we are attached to pulls away or behaves differently, the ego interprets it as rejection or failure. It screams for attention, validation, or control. But the deeper emotional truth is often quieter and rooted in past experiences. By observing this difference, we begin to understand that not all emotions are authentic expressions of the heart. Some are ego-driven reactions. The ego says, "I need them to prove I am enough." It seeks to possess and hold on, not because of love, but because of fear of loss. To emotionally detach, we must step back and ask ourselves if our reaction is coming from our true self or from an inflated sense of need. Jung believed the ego was a necessary part of identity, but it must not dominate the psyche. The mature self learns to feel emotions without being ruled by them. When we remove ego from the equation, what remains is clarity. We begin to see the person and situation as they are, not as the ego has imagined them to be. 3. Practice conscious awareness. Observe your emotions without judgment. Detachment begins when you become a conscious witness of your feelings rather than a slave to them. Practicing conscious awareness means stepping into the role of an observer in your own emotional experience. When emotionally attached to someone, our thoughts often race, and our feelings can become overwhelming, blinding us to the reality of the situation. Conscious awareness invites a pause, a space between stimulus and response where clarity resides. Instead of reacting automatically to every message, action, or silence from someone, you begin to watch your emotions rise and fall like waves, without judgment. This state of mindfulness allows you to witness the fear, the longing, the anger, and the hope, without being consumed by them. Carl Jung emphasized the importance of individuation, becoming aware of one's inner world to reach a state of wholeness. Conscious awareness is the pathway to that transformation. It teaches you to identify your emotional patterns and recognize when you are projecting your needs or insecurities onto others. By observing your own mind in action, you begin to create distance from emotional entanglement. The more you practice awareness, the more power you gain over how you feel and respond. This inner mastery slowly breaks the chain of emotional dependence. You stop living on emotional autopilot and start experiencing peace, even in the presence or absence of another person. 4. Set energetic boundaries. Protect your energy by setting mental, emotional, and physical boundaries. Distance is not cruelty, it is clarity. Setting energetic boundaries is one of the most empowering aspects of emotional detachment. It's about creating a mental and emotional space that allows you to protect your inner peace without being influenced by others' moods or actions. Often, when emotionally attached to someone, we lose sight of where our feelings end and theirs begin. We absorb their emotions, thoughts, and behaviors, which can lead to feelings of confusion and overwhelm. Energetic boundaries are the invisible lines that separate your emotional world from theirs. Establishing these boundaries doesn't mean distancing yourself physically, but mentally and emotionally. You may still care deeply for someone, but you stop letting their energy control yours. For example, if someone's actions trigger negative feelings in you, rather than reacting immediately, you take a step back and center yourself. You create space between their behavior and your emotional response, recognizing that their actions do not define your worth or happiness. Jung's concept of individuation suggests that one must become aware of their own inner world to stand firm in it. By strengthening energetic boundaries, you reclaim your emotional sovereignty, choosing where to invest your energy and when to protect yourself from emotional depletion. This practice leads to healthier, more balanced relationships. 5. Detach with compassion, not resentment. You can let go of people with love and understanding. Emotional detachment doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop controlling. Detaching with compassion rather than resentment is a crucial aspect of emotional freedom. It's easy to think that detaching from someone means shutting them out with bitterness or anger, but true emotional detachment comes from a place of understanding and kindness. Jung believed that in order to grow, we must accept that everything and everyone is part of our larger journey, including the people we may need to release. Detaching doesn't mean we stop caring for someone, but rather, we stop allowing them to control our emotional state. It's about acknowledging that people's actions, while sometimes painful, are often reflections of their own struggles, and they are not personal attacks. Compassionate detachment allows you to let go without carrying the burden of resentment. It involves wishing others well on their own paths, without feeling the need to stay emotionally entangled. Instead of seeing the separation as a loss, you recognize it as an opportunity for growth for both parties. By releasing attachment with grace, you free yourself from the emotional weight of the relationship, allowing space for healing. This approach nurtures your emotional well-being, while still honoring the connection in a way that fosters peace rather than conflict. 6. Anchor yourself in inner purpose. As Jung said, the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. Focus on your self-growth and purpose rather than people. Anchoring yourself in an inner purpose is an essential step in emotional detachment. When we find ourselves deeply attached to someone or something, it often means we have placed too much of our emotional energy outside of ourselves. Our sense of worth and stability becomes tied to external factors, such as validation or approval from others. Carl Jung suggested that one of the highest human achievements is individuation, the process of becoming who we truly are, independent of external influence. When you anchor yourself in your inner purpose, you shift your focus from dependency on others to a deep connection with your own values and goals. This inner purpose becomes your guide, something you can turn to when emotional attachments begin to cloud your judgment. It creates a strong sense of self, built not on the approval of others, but on the conviction of your own path. With a clear sense of purpose, you are no longer swayed by every emotional turbulence that comes your way. Your sense of identity remains firm, and you can move through life with resilience. This grounding in purpose makes it easier to detach from relationships or situations that no longer align with your growth, as you are rooted in something much deeper than fleeting external connections. 7. Transform pain into wisdom. Every emotional detachment is an invitation to grow. Turn the pain of loss into the power of insight. Transforming pain into wisdom is an essential part of emotional detachment. When we experience emotional attachment and eventually need to let go, it often brings pain, whether it's from a breakup, a shift in a relationship, or the loss of someone. Instead of allowing this pain to consume us, we can view it as an opportunity for growth. Carl Jung believed that every challenge and hardship we face is a chance to learn more about ourselves. Pain often arises from our attachments to outcomes or people, but through self-reflection and introspection, we can find the wisdom that lies within that pain. Instead of simply grieving a loss, we can ask ourselves, what lessons can I learn from this? By shifting our perspective, we begin to see the value in the experience, rather than just focusing on the hurt. Every emotional detachment carries with it the potential for deeper understanding and personal evolution. This wisdom strengthens our emotional resilience, making it easier to detach in the future with grace. The more we turn pain into insight, the more we build emotional strength and wisdom, which ultimately leads to greater self-awareness and peace.